Hey everybody, it's Master Galengeist here, bringing you my review for Marvel Legacy Issue 1, and I really like this issue a lot. I really like how Jason Aaron wrote everything and kind of set up what Legacy's kind of going to be about, and kind of what the story beats are going to be. So, this issue starts off with a million DC, and we get a look at first of like Mjolnir and like these guys trying to like primitive humans trying to pick it up. And of course, we get Odin coming in and having trouble trying to wield it and everything. And the host of the Phoenix Force at that time giving him kind of some shit about it. And he's like, screw off. And we get into kind of why they're there. Because a celestial has fallen, as Starbrand's calling it, a sky god, and he wants to kill it and everything. But Odin wants to kill it and nail its body to the moon as a warning to the rest. And it's kind of cool seeing the rest of this kind of like Avengers team. We, of course, have Odin, we have the Phoenix Force, we have Black Panther, we have Iron Fist, we have, of course, Starbrand, and we have Sorcerer Supreme Agamotto, and we got a Ghost Rider that rides a woolly mammoth. And, of course, the woolly mammoth was killed, and I would just really kind of like a Ghost Rider tale about this Ghost Rider with a woolly mammoth. It just kind of would be really cool. So, of course, they group up together and they go to fight the Celestial. And it's like, alright, pretty sweet. So then, of course, we get to present day and we see Robbie Reyes kind of asleep in his car, and he's woken up and he finds out he is in Africa. And he's like, how the hell did this happen? I was just asleep in my car. What the hell? So, of course, he's trying to escape from the cops, and he, like, runs into Starbrand. And he's trying to keep everybody that was kind of like involved in that Avengers team, like a Ghost Rider, away from something in Africa, even if he has to kill to do that. It's like, damn, this dude's got no chill and no time to explain stuff at all. It's like, Jesus. Then we get to Loki getting these frost giants, trying to talk to them about glory and everything, and sending them to go after something that we find out is in a shield place. And he's like, oh, don't worry, I'm just a lion dude and I'm trying to save the world, as we see him explaining in the next panel. And I really kind of like what they've done with Loki, kind of turning him into a reluctant villain, anti-hero kind of combination, because you never know exactly what his endgame is, but over the years it's been less and less malicious and more just trying to really play into a trickster god kind of thing, with his ultimate end goal is trying to really help people. And with one of the things that kind of goes on in here, it kind of feels cool that they're going to eventually link him up with Doctor Strange, being a Sorcerer Supreme and all that kind of stuff, with what I've heard going later on. So it's like, okay, we're going to have to see where this goes. So, of course, we then get into the S.H.I.E.L.D. base, and, of course, S.H.I.E.L.D. shutting down because of everything that happened with Secret Empire and Hydra Cap taking over. So it's like, okay, we got to get everything out of here. And they're like, well, everything's accounted for except for this box. There's no record of it, so do with it as you will. So, of course, that's when the Frost Giants pop out. It's like, holy crap, everybody's, like, getting hurt and killed and all that stuff. So, what happens? We get Thor and Sam Wilson, Captain America, popping in. And, of course, this is Sam talks about, well, the narrator talks about how this is the last time he's going to be suited up like this. They're, like, busting Frost Giant butt. And we see a prototype S.H.I.E.L.D.'s like, huh. He's like, oh, that must have been one of the prototypes or something. It's like, that could be useful later. So, of course, we get Riri Williams popping up in a little bit later. She's like, sorry, I got stuck in some science and all that, so let's kind of go with what's going on. So, of course, then we get and we see kind of where other people are at. We see Steve Rogers, not in his Captain America outfit. He does have his shield in his bag, but it's not displayed prominently. And he's, like, talking with someone in a diner and all. He's like, yeah, that's my bike. I kind of don't know where I'm going. He's hearing stuff on the news about, like, where's Steve Rogers and all that. And he asks for that to be turned off. Like, okay, I'm kind of interested to see what Steve's going to be doing to try and, like, regain the public's trust and everything. And what his objectives and goals are going to be. So then, of course, we get to Odinson. And he's, of course, still drowning his sorrows in mead and bars and all that. And he's like, give me more meat. No, and even if I say no and you start a fight, nobody wants to fight with you anymore. Stop this. And he's like, no, whatever, just keep the drinks coming and all that. And while this is going on, we see one of the, like, royal Asgardian advisors, you can see in the future, we see him utter three words, Mangog is coming, and they kill themselves. Ooh, I want to see how that goes and what that's going to be going on for the Mighty Thor. Then we also see stuff about Tony and how Mary Jane Watson is trying to figure out how Tony disappeared. Because the people that are in charge of the security said he was there one moment, he was gone the next. We don't know what happened. There's nothing that could show it. And her kind of contemplating what that means and what's going on. So then we get back to Starbrand and Ghost Rider continuing their pretty awesome fight. I gotta say, they did a real good job with, since this is the main kind of fight that's going on, we do have Sam, Thor, and Ironheart doing their stuff with the Frost Giants, but this is kind of an important one because we're getting more information and we're kind of seeing these two people go head to head who we haven't really seen go head to head before. And they get to this archaeological dig site and everything, and Starbrand's trying to stop him as much as possible. He kills some people to stop them from what's going on as well to dig even further. It's holy shit. What won't this guy do? So then we switch off and we're at Deadpool, and they did a good job getting into Deadpool stuff. He's in a bathroom acting like it's a confessional. There's cops outside saying, you're wanted because you killed Agent Phil Coulson. It's like, holy shit, what's been going on with that? And then they just start opening fire on him, and of course, his healing factor and everything, saying, thank you, Father, may I have another, and all that kind of stuff. It's like, holy crap. And then we get to some really important stuff with Doctor Strange and Iron Fist. Of course, one of the other Avengers from the past, talking about how someone tried to get into his sanctum, but the shrubbery stopped them, and we get Osborn. So Osborn will probably be getting into play because he's like, there's more than one source of power in this city that Osborn can get. It's like, ooh, how is he going to factor into this? What's his goals, and what kind of power would he achieve? Because he's not gone back completely to the Green Goblin that we've known, but I have heard about him like still being crazy, Green Goblin-like and everything, and I want to know kind of what his goals are and what he's going to do. So then we get to like the Avengers Mansion, and Jarvis saying that something feels kind of off, and it's like, that's kind of weird because if Jarvis can feel it, what does that mean? And then we get to like the Johnny and the Thing asking about like, are they even needed because of all the Thors and the Hulks running around, which, yeah, that's a pretty big thing. Saying, yeah, they need us and everything. And launching off the Fantastic Four flare and everything and setting up the whole, then doing like team-ups and all that. And like, that'll be kind of interesting to see how they're factored into whatever's going on here. So, a big kind of thing that we get is in regards to Black Panther. We get to this planet of Bast, and we see that there's an intergalactic empire of Wakanda. It's like, whoa, what kind of ramifications will that have for Wakanda? Explaining kind of how they are like one of the most technologically advanced civilizations, if not the most technologically advanced civilizations on Earth. And what does that mean for T'Challa and the rest of his people? And I really hope that they explore that dynamic a lot, because that opens a lot of questions and opens up like the Black Panther for having like more cosmic adventures. But we have seen that kind of cosmic stuff going forward for the Black Panther, since he did wield the Infinity Gauntlet at one point, and he's pretty badass. We'll have to see how his story will factor into what's going on. So, another thing that we get to is that we see these people at this monitoring station. And this is where we get a Hulk tidbit, where the planet of Sakaar is calling from, which of course that was a planet that he was like exiled from by the Illuminati. And they're like, we need the Hulk to come home. It's like, whoa. I don't know. I know that they kind of had a zombie banner Hulk thing going on, but we're going to have to see how Amadeus Cho, the Hulk at the moment, kind of handles this, and what happens if they bring back Bruce Banner and the Hulk. What that's going to mean. I really like how they're really bringing this event really big and bringing in a lot of Earth elements and cosmic elements and just kind of going for a very just kind of like interwoven kind of beginning to this. So, then we get to the important conclusion of Ghost Rider versus Starbrand, where they're really kind of going at it, and Ghost Rider goes like, why don't you try some penance? And he initiates the penance stare on the Starbrand. And this is big because Robbie is not your typical Ghost Rider. he is possessed by the murderous spirit of his uncle Eli. Not really a spirit of vengeance like Johnny Blaze and the rest of the Ghost Riders. And him being able to use this one of the most important powers of the Ghost Rider is a big thing. It either means that there's more at play than like him being possessed by Eli, possibly Eli and a spirit of vengeance, or Eli could be becoming a spirit of vengeance. That's stuff that I hope that is really examined and like brought into in a comic, because that is a good story to tell. Robbie Reyes is a pretty good character that I think really needs to be delved into more. I really like how they treated him in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the TV show, and I've been kind of disappointed, at least, with how they've been dealing with him comic book wise, and I hope that this kind of like bumps it up and like they do something pretty cool with him, because I think they could do a lot and do a good amount for his character and just do some interesting stories with him. So of course, then we get to the archaeologists. There's two of them that have survived, and they kind of go down in the cavern and they stumble upon the Celestial, and it is still alive. It wakes up, kind of grabs them, and says, "Summon the final host, cleanse all." And we see that the rock that they had kind of come from had the markings of the million BC Avengers. It's like, what does that mean? What is the final host, cleanse all? Does it mean Earth or the whole universe? Do they see life as a mistake? Or do they see us as parasites? What does this mean? That's the kind of cool stuff. Because we had seen when the Penance Stare killed the Starman, it killed him. And we saw the brand then on the Earth. He was talking about how the Horde will feed and the final host and will like come and the sleeper will awaken. It's like, what does this all mean? I really like it when they bring in kind of stuff like this and you tease enough rather than like making it kind of like obtuse, like, what the heck's going on? So of course, we had our Avengers fight. We had seen Riri Williams trying to do the Avengers call, but of course, forget the line. I love the kind of line of Sam's like, the moment has passed. Thor's like, well, I always preferred something with smiting in it. We see the aftermath of the fight as they've taken out a lot of the Frost Giants and saying that everything was accounted for, except, of course, the box that was not on the list. We had seen one of the Frost Giants get away with the box, and we see this tractor trailer then smash into him. And it's like, what the hell is going on? Now, of course, he's like calling for him to come out. He does, and we see him swipe at him with claws, Wolverine claws. What the hell? Then we get to a part where we see Jean Grey, the young Jean Grey, going up to the adamantium statue that had held Logan's body, and seeing that it was burst open. And we see the narrator talking about like rebirths and all that stuff. And I'm wondering if Phoenix Force might be connected with Logan's resurrection, possibly. We don't quite know yet, because we have seen parts of the Phoenix Force split off into other people. So, especially in the, like, part where, like, the mutants had, like, 5 avatars of the Phoenix Force. So it's not outside of the realm of possibility that could be happening. Then we get to see that the thing in the box was an Infinity Stone. As Logan's like, ain't we make a pair? So, like, wow, what are his goals in all this? Was he drawn by the Infinity Stone? Did it call him? Did it resurrect him? What's this happening for? It's like, wow, what could this be? So, of course, we get to Gamora, who's found out that the Infinity Stone is on the board and trying to figure out what's going to be happening with that. We see Loki getting into the Celestial part, going there and hearing it talking about summon the final host, and you're like, do that. Okay, let's figure out what's going on with that. And it's like, okay, we know Loki's trying to save the world and everything. How is he going to spin this and everything? Because I believe that those two archaeologists could potentially have been turned into heralds, similar to like Galactus. So we'll have to see how Loki's going to have to handle that. Then we see like this kind of funny kind of panel where we see Sam and Thor kissing, and Riri Williams is just kind of like not happy about it. She's like essentially sitting at the kids' table at this point, being like, "Geez, I'm Ironheart, and this happens." It's like, yep. Yeah, it's something you're going to have to deal with. And then we get to the final part. We find out who is narrating this. We find out it is Valeria Richards, daughter of Sue and Reed. And she's like talking about how they like and like making multiverses back and everything, and how she kind of wants to go home. And we see the kind of cool brother-sister dynamic with her and Franklin, calling each other buttface and barkhead and all that stuff, and how Valeria wants to go home and all that. I really kind of like the brother-sister dynamic. It's like, yeah, at that age, that's kind of what happens. So I'm really intrigued to see how they are going to factor into it, what Sue and Reed are going to have to do, because they're trying to reconstruct the multiverse after everything that would happen with like Battle World and the multiverse coming to a crashing halt and everything kind of like coming together to be destroyed. So they hopefully, well, they might be at the part where they're like they're missing the trees in the forest kind of thing, since they're trying to like be on an upper level, but this could be potentially hazardous with like Celestial, the final host, all that kind of stuff, and everything that's going on. So I like how they've set this up. Hopefully, not really as an event, but a giant arc that like all the comics can kind of interweave into, and that I hope is their goal, and then not just keep jumping event to event, because it just promotes event fatigue, and I really kind of want to see where everything kind of goes with this and how it's kind of all brought together eventually. And I really like the art. I really like Jason Aaron's writing, and I can't wait to see what's going on forward with Marvel Comics with this. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.